everybody, Lord Tremendous here, and I got the final battle report of the ADEPTICON 2017 Grand Tournament, the whole event. It only took me a month to get 11 friggin' battle reports out, but I finally did it. This is game 5 of 5, and it is I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, versus VESPACIAN. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm wrong, well, sue me. Of the Highborn Elves. Yes, another 9th Age battle reporter. 2 for 5, I believe, which is outstanding, actually. Got to meet the guy. He's on the content team, and he is awesome. He plays elves, but, you know, to each their own. Trying to be accepting, but... I got to meet him, I got to hang out with him for a little bit, and I got to play my final game against him. He's already got his battle report up. He does written ones, and they're really, really good. Go to the9thage.com, look him up, and check out his version of the battle report. I will put it in the description. Dude is talented. And you're about to see that, so sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. The final scenario of this tournament is the deployment is counter thrust, and the secondary objective is capture the flag. You'll see. Here's my list, the same list from the last 4 battle reports, so here we go. I've got my Con Blackshade, he's my general, he's got the Ogre Crossbow, Kingslayer, Hardened Shield, Talisman of Shielding, and Horde Master. Then I have my second Con. He's my BSB, he's got his Ogre Crossbow, Heart Ripper, Yeti Fears, and Troll Eater. Then I have my Shaman Skaz, he's got 3 learned spells, the Dragonfire Gem, and he uses the Path of Thaumaturgy. And of course, I have my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, an Obsidian Sword, the Armor of Fortune, Headhunter, and he's on his trusty Tusker, his best friend, the War Teddy. Starting off my core choices, I have a unit of 7 tribesmen, the good old boys. They have a Banner Musician, Iron Fist, and the Banner of Discipline. I have another unit of 7 tribesmen, the Conquerors. They have a Banner Musician and Iron Fist as well. And then I have a unit of 15 Scraplings, the Randos, and all they have is bows. In the special category, I have a Saber-Toothed Tiger, Bow Wowzer, a 5-man unit of Scrappling Trappers, the Favored Pets, and 3 Tusker Cavalry with Banner, Great Weapons, and the War Standard. In the Powder Keg category, I've got a unit of 3 Naked Bombardiers. And for the Chain Beast category, I have my Rock-a-Rock Warhammer, and the Rider with Lance that rides him. Riding Rider, Rider, is none other than Shyhammer. And together they are the Twin Hammers. And these guys knock the crap out of everything. See? Dead ambulance. And then, of course, you know him, you love him, my Frost Mammoth, Rufus. Got a couple of Ogre Crossbows and the guys he totes around, but yeah, Rufus has a special place in my heart. Win, loss, death, whatever. Rufus will always be in the army. So that's going to do it for my army. I'm going to post my opponent's army, play a little bit of music. Feel free to pause whenever you'd like to see what he took. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. So I got to deploy first, and I just did. I threw everything down. I wanted to get in on this. I'm sorry, that's not entirely true. It's counter thrust, so we kind of bounce back and forth, and you can't cav any model closer than 18 inches to any other once it's deployed, yada, yada, yada. So that's why it's kind of all bouncy around like that. Never really played this deployment before, so I really didn't know what I was doing. I had a vague idea what I wanted to do, but nothing really intelligent, you know? So, honestly, I put my Tusker Cav and Lord Tremendous on the far left side there because I was hoping to pull some stuff over to the left so that they could run over there and hit it. I put my Rock, Rufus, and my units of Tribesmen out over on the right side real quick just as a really hardcore bunker. Whatever comes after them I should be able to countercharge and destroy it. Just basically my big anchor units with the Rock leading the charge, because why not? I want them to get in there and I want them to hurt these elves. I have the Bombardiers on the hill over there to take care of whatever comes over on the right flank, and the Scraplings are in the middle because I'm hoping they get ignored so they can take as many shots as possible at the elves, because at toughness 3 I'm wounded on 4s, and they're not super armored, at least not the infantry. But honestly, that's really all I had strategy-wise for deployment. I got to go first, and I did. Here's top of 1 after movement, and no charges, nothing fancy, just kind of got closer to everything. Honestly, with everything that was across the table, he would have needed 10s or 11s to hit me with charges. I was kind of hoping he would try. If he brought a Phoenix in, that'd be great. I kind of put the good old boys out there so that my Rock can countercharge anything that tries to go after him. I really didn't think anything would, and if it did, it'd be really tough for him to hit me. The Tuskers and Lord Tremendous move up on the left flank, daring anything that wants to charge him to go ahead and try. He's got a unit of fast cav up there, so if it charges anything, that's fine. I will murder it. I really wasn't afraid. I was like, let's do this. I'm going to kill me some knife ears, and that's it for movement. My magic is dispelled like the joke that it is, so in the shooting phase, the only thing that happens is my Bombardiers are able to lay waste to most of the Reavers on the right flank. They do pass their leadership check because they're elves, but there's only 2 of them now, and I feel pretty good about that. I had a slow start, I know, but look, it really kicks up in the bottom of 1 after movement, and my opponent goes, needing 11s and 12s to hit you on a charge, so be it. His general's unit, his general's in a chariot, and he's attached him to a unit of cav. And I could have sworn that wasn't allowed. I could have sworn that was illegal, but for the life of me, I could not find anything in the rules that said it wasn't allowed. I actually slow played the game a little bit, looking it up in the rules, going, I don't think you can do that. Couldn't find anything that said it was illegal. So be it. I guess he'd been playing it like that the whole time, the entire tournament. And yeah, I guess I just had that rule in my head because I hear voices. I don't know. So yeah, that unit with the chariot and everything charge the good old boys, and he makes it. I couldn't believe it. He rolled 3 6s. It wasn't even hard. I was like, wow, okay, this is the way it's got to be. His White Lions on the left flank there tried to charge Lord Tremendous and failed, which honestly surprised me. He needed like a 10 or 11 to hit him as well, and why not? The fast cav charge, or I'm sorry, not charge, but chaff up the Tusker cav, which is fine. I'm going to go after him. I'm going to kill these elves. The other unit of Reavers up on the right flank there, they go to block the Conquerors, and that's fine too. Don't really care. The Swordmasters run up to block the Rock, and I'm fine with that because at the moment I think that the Rock and Rufus can slam into the Swordmasters and hopefully kill enough of them that their counterattacks mean nothing, and I get to destroy that entire brick and swoop up all those points. The only thing is I gotta hope that the good old boys stick. You'll see. The Phoenix, looks like a dragon on the left side there, kills a couple of Scraplings. The Phoenix on the right kills all but one Trapper, who panics off the table. Not that I can really blame him. Or panics and never rallies and he ends up off the table. Something along those lines. And that's it for his movement. There's a better picture of his general's unit slamming into my general's unit, and I'm pretty sure that's a loss. I just gotta hope he flubs his rolls, right? And there's a better picture of his White Lions failing charge on Lord Tremendous, which I did stand and shoot and I rolled a 1 because I'm cross-eyed. There's a better picture of the Phoenix flaming, pooping on two scraplings, which I really don't like that they can do that, but at the same time I understand why they can do it, so I don't know. They got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other, and they're both arguing about whether or not I like the idea of the Phoenixes being able to do that. And there's the other Phoenix just destroying my trappers. I guess what it really bothers me is that the Phoenix is a monster that's great at dealing with chaff, great at doing a lot of different things. It can come back. It almost feels like too good of a monster. And this is coming from a guy with a rock, so... During the magic phase, he gets a spell off on the good old boys, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. It has something to do with druidism, and he's able to, I think it makes it so that it's easier for him to hit me, or it's harder for me to hit them. Maybe gives them distracting. I can't remember, but he gets something that's going to help him in combat, and I'm not happy about it. During the shooting phase, his bolt thrower fires a single shot at Bow Wowzer, hits, wounds, and only does one wound. Just killed one of his heads, not both. But the follow-up shots from the Reavers finish off Bow Wowzer, which isn't terrible because it allows my Rock to scoot over a little bit more when he charges them and hopefully let Rufus in. Still sucks a little bit, though. We go into combat, and it's actually insane. He flubs his rolls spectacularly. I think I end up in a challenge, my general versus his, and he's not able to do anything to me. I'm not able to do anything to him. He's able to do 7 wounds to my unit in total, but I'm able to do 6 back, killing every last one of his knights, which shocked the hell out of me. I rolled out of the box, and I fully expected my opponent to make all, if not maybe 1 or 2 of his armor saves. He failed 6 exactly, and the unit got wiped. So he charged, and he did 7 wounds. I did 6 wounds, and I have a banner. I lose by 1. I'm steadfast. I stick because the BSB was in range. But yeah, that was really, really unexpected, and I'm hoping I can kill off his general, but he's all combat kitted out, and I don't know how much longer my luck is going to hold. So we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and I do the best that I can. My Rock and Rufus charge the Swordmasters, but due to charge shenanigans and everything, I'm not able to get in. I'm not able to get Rufus in there, so it's a failed charge. My Rock can't move over enough because of the way he's got to move, and there's just nothing I can do. That's where he ends up. Well, we tried to scoot him over, but with the Conquerors charging into the Reavers, there was just nothing I could do. I couldn't get the Rock over far enough and keep everything else legit to get Rufus in there. It was a failed charge, so Rufus ends up right where he's at. The Rock goes in, the Conquerors go in, and the Tusker Cav go into the Reavers, and because I'm stupid, I don't charge Lord Tremendous into the White Lions. I know they do multiple wounds to him, and they probably would have just murdered him anyway, but I scoot Lord Tremendous around them, basically giving them the Tusker Cav. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Like I said, just my head was firmly up my ass this day, and going over the slideshow, just like in my last battle report, it eats at me a bit. It eats at me that I played so poorly. But, you know, what can you do? Hindsight's also 20/20. The Scraplings, they just stay put because they're going to shoot at the White Lions, for all the good that's going to do. Skaz stays in the forest, and the Bombardiers turn to face the, Phoenix on the right flank there, in the vague hope of killing him. And that's it for movement. There's a better picture of my Rock and the Conquerors slamming into their chosen foes. I know the Rock is dead. I'm well aware that he's dead. I just hope he takes out at least a half that unit before he goes. Hopefully the Conquerors can finish off that unit of Reavers and then turn and deal with the Swordmasters, what's ever left. I'm just upset. I hate that I didn't see any of this stuff till after the fact, which is the biggest problem I've had all day, which, what can you do? There's a better picture of my Tusker Cav slamming into those guys, and Impact Hits alone should take them out. During the magic phase, I get Smite the Unbeliever off on the Swordmasters in the hope of taking down their strength, and since I can't really control it, all I end up doing is lowering their toughness, which was great, because now my Rock, who is wounding on 2s, wounds on 2s. Fuck! We go into combat, and I start off with the Conquerors, figuring why not. They are able to kill all but one of these little Reaver bastards, and they break. I win this combat, it's not able to do anything to me. They break, I try to restrain, and I fail it. So we have to pursue, which is out flippin' standing. I, of course, fail to catch them. I'm completely out of position now, and things are going great if you're an elf that's not on a horse. We go over here, and I lose a tribesman. I think I do 1 wound to this guy, maybe 2. I don't know. There's that little black die there. That could be 2 wounds. I think this is a stalemate combat. I think I do a couple of wounds, or I do a wound, something like that, and I have a banner to his 2 wounds, 1 or 2 wounds. I don't remember. But bottom line is, we stay exactly where we're at, and that kind of sucks. All that lucky rolling I had in the beginning is gone, and I really needed to come back. Over here, though, the hammers do really, really well. As you can see, they die because they're still sword masters, but I end up killing 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 of these guys out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18 or something like that. So, or 20, whatever they were, but does a lot of damage before he's murdered. It sucks that he died, but yeah, had Rufus gotten in there, I think I would have been able to win this combat, and that would have been much better. Well, what can you do? The Swordmasters reform just like this, and it's actually a very good reform. Son of a gun. And over here, like I said, impact hits destroy the elves. And you know what I really love about this game? All the death screams of the elves. I know I'm doing poorly, but elves are dying in droves, and it puts a smile on my face. So, after helping out my opponent during top of 2, here's bottom of 2 after movement, where my opponent can really take it to me. And he does. Dude is good. Really, really good. Like, the Highborn Elves were created so VESPACIAN can just play them like an artist. I mean, watch. Just watch. It's all in the report. On the left flank there, the White Lions, of course, charge into the Tusker Cav because I did everything but put a little welcome mat in front of them. The Swordmaster slam into the good old boys because, again, I did everything but a welcome mat out. It's not like he has to worry about the Conquerors countercharging him because I can't pass a rerollable leadership 8. I believe that one guy rallies. I think he rolls like a 2, and they rally no problem. The Phoenix on the hill flies over the Bombardiers, but isn't able to do anything. The Phoenix that was near the Scraplings flies over Skaz, but again, isn't able to do anything. I get lucky there. And for the most part, that's it for movement. Oh, no, there's a better picture that shows that the Phoenix was able to do a wound to the Bombardiers when it flew over. My bad. Flaming poop does burn. There's a better picture of the Swordmasters joining in on this fight, and nobody invited them. And the Lions are getting ready to destroy my Tusker Cav. And you know what? I might as well just set fire to my models the way I'm using them. No, I'm not going to burn my models. Shut up. Nothing happens in Magic, but during shooting, that little bolt thrower on the hill puts one into Lord Tremendous and does 2 wounds to him. Not very fond of Elven Artillery. It's gonna have to die. We go into combat, and the Lions, without taking any damage whatsoever, eviscerate all the Tusker Cav. I literally shouldn't have put them on the table. I am devastated at how poorly I used them. And it occurs to me after this combat what happened and how perfectly Vespian played me a fool. And hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. Or the glove fits, shoot it. I don't know. But whatever I needed to do to be a fool, I did. Never say that Lord Tremendous is a poor opponent, because damn it, I really helped my opponent here. Oh, just disgusted with myself. Over here, the Swordmasters make all the difference. 3 of my, tribesmen die before they can do anything. One guy is hanging on by a thread. I do 1 wound to the general. I kill 4 or 5 of the Swordsmasters, and it doesn't matter. I break like a twig, and I get run down like a twig. Yeah, just awful. The only thing that's kind of interesting about this is that a unit broke, and neither Rufus nor Skaz fled. Like, they both made their break check. I couldn't believe it. Actually, my opponent played that really perfectly, too, because Rufus and Skaz would have... Well, Rufus would have fled through the Phoenixes taking DTs, but Skaz would have fled, like, right in front of them, taking DTs himself, and probably both died. I just got lucky and actually made a leadership check. I couldn't believe it, yeah. But yeah, that's where everything ends up after murdering my general's unit. So here's top of 3 after movement, and I'm really now just screwed. And I know I'm screwed. There's not a whole lot I can do. I do charge that Reaver that got away from the Conquerors earlier during the combat, and it flees off the table. And then I redirect into the other one that was in the field, and I think they both died of dangerous terrain when they flee, and the Conquerors end up over on the field there. Or they flee very short, and I end up catching them. Either way, that's where the Conquerors end up. The Bombardiers turn around to look at the Phoenixes. Skaz runs past the Phoenix after passing yet another leadership check. Rufus turns around to look at the Phoenixes, knowing he's either going to be charged or he gets a free shot at him, whichever happens first. The Scraplings turn to face the Swordmasters that are in the forest because they have delusions of grandeur, and Lord Tremendous, trying to make amends for sacrificing the Tusker Cav like he did, slams into the bolt thrower on the hill that almost killed him in one shot. That is it for movement. We go into combat because nothing happens in Magic or Shooting. Why would it? I'm playing like ass. My dice should reflect. I'm able to kill the bolt thrower, I heal a wound thanks to Headhunter, and I reform to look like that. Hey, at least elves died. I feel good about that. So here's bottom of 3 after movement, and it's gone from bad to worse. The White Lions are going after the Scraplings because really they don't have any other target. The General on the Chariot's going after Rufus with the Swordmasters because they can take him. And then the Phoenixes both fly over the Bombardiers and murder them. I've got no answer. Rufus is about to die. Skaz is powerless. The Scraplings are screwed. Lord Tremendous and the Conquerors and my BSB are completely out of position. And the only thing I really had to give him any kind of fear with his Swordmasters just got flame pooped by 2 Phoenixes. I can't lose this game hard enough, apparently. I'm trying. We are having a good time. I know I'm whining and stuff, and I fully accept that, and that's intentional. I'm playing like ass. This whole day I've realized I played like raw, bitter fertilizer, like the kind that gets stuck in your teeth when you chew it. And yeah, I'm not pleased with myself at all, and I'm really big on self-criticism, because especially when I do something that really warrants it. So, no, my opponent was badass. As you can see, he plays his army very, very well. I'm just mad at myself for playing like, what did they say in Avatar? Shaved Tail Louie. I don't know what that means, but for some reason it sounds fitting. So I'm going to say that. I'm a Shaved Tail Louie. Outstanding. I think that's what he says. I'm going to be embarrassed if it's not. There's a better picture of his Phoenixes, fire pooping the Bombardiers to death, which is actually kind of hilarious. Nothing happens in Magic or Shooting, so we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and I make yet another horrible decision. I don't charge Rufus in the Swordmasters. I should have. I really, really should have. I should have slammed into him. I should have done my impact hits and relied on me lowering their initiative to allow me to at least kill enough of them where I'd get the points, and I didn't. Instead, I marched him around to the flank where they could charge him no problem. I really don't know what I was thinking. Like, I really don't. I think somebody drugged me. Oh my God, I was raped. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, Lord Tremendous up top there charges the other bolt thrower that's behind the tree and makes it. The Scraplings ignore the White Lions to shoot at the Swordmasters. Skaz moves up into the forest to go after the Swordmasters, and the Conquerors swift reform to go towards the middle of the table. I don't know what game I was playing, but clearly it was not this one. During the Magic phase, I get Smite the Unbeliever off on the Swordmasters, lowering their strength by 1, and then I get Cleansing Fire off on them as well. I use the Cleansing Fire on the Swordmasters in the shooting phase, and I'm able to kill all but the BSB, I believe, is the one that's left in there. I'm not 100% on that, but I think only the character's left. So I get the unit, which is huge, and the character that's in there has to die. So that's pretty cool. In combat, Lord Tremendous is able to finish off the last bolter on the table, murdering it dead, not because it was a danger, but because it was flippin' elves, and all elves have to die. Just in case you were wondering. So here's bottom before after movement, and there's a little bit, now my opponent is starting to back off a little bit, because as poorly as I'm playing, I'm actually killing a lot of the elves. He's still going to win. He's still got this one, no problem. But I've still got some stuff on the table. He realized how exposed he was. Like I said, he's a very, very good opponent. And so he backed off. His character that was in the Swordmasters with nowhere to run falls back into a place where I can't charge him. His character, his general on the chariot, backs up behind a house, so Lord Tremendous can't long distance charge him, which, yes, I was going to try. And then his two Phoenixes run over to put some threat on Skaz and Rufus, while the White Lion slam into the rear of the Scraplings. And that's it for movement. Here's a better picture of his White Lion slamming into the back of the Scraplings, and that really sucks, but, I mean, hey, it's Scraplings. I love my Scraplings, don't get me wrong, but if they die, it's not like it's going to keep me up at night. Nothing happens in shooting or magic, we go straight into combat, and the White Lions don't do great against my Scraplings. They kill 4. In return, the Scraplings kill 2. Now, with charge, rear, ranks, and a banner, of course they win, and I auto-break. But they killed only twice as many as the Scraplings killed. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care the fact that they auto-break. My Scraplings won this combat, and I'm proud of them. Unfortunately, moral victories mean squat, and the Scraplings fled. A solid 12 inches, 11 or 12 inches. They get away. And luckily for me, the White Lion stopped just before slamming into Rufus, which is good and bad at the same time, but it stops Rufus from charging into his general, which is too bad. That would have been cool. All in all, not terrible. The Scraplings get away and they have a chance to rally. Hopefully they do. You'll see. So here we are over in top of 5. They're going pretty quick because we're running out of models. The Scraplings do rally? Maybe. No, I don't think they rally. I think they continue to flee, which is perfectly fine. The Conquerors come closer. Lord Tremendous tried to charge long distance at the White Lions just because, what the hell. I knew I lost the game. I was just having fun and failed. So I end up right where I'm at. Rufus backs off. He can march, but I tried to move him in such a way that he could... he failed his march check, so I moved him as far as I could, which wasn't enough to get him out of the charge arcs of the Phoenixes. What can you do? Skaz moved back a little bit because he also failed his march check, and that's it for movement. During the magic phase, I get Smite the Unbeliever off on his little character there, and I'm able to lower his toughness, which was cool, and I get Cleansing Fire off on Skaz, and it's the big one, Strength 5, so I think I've got the character. We go into the shooting phase, and a combination of my god-awful rolling and his amazing saves, 1 wound. 1 piddly-ass wound is all I do to his character. The stars aligned just enough to make a picture of a middle finger directed directly at me. It hurt. It hurt. I won't lie. I thought I had the character. I was all excited. I'm like, yay, points! And no. I don't even get half points. Nothing. But it was a good setup, wasn't it? With nothing else, here's bottom of 5 after movement, and the Phoenixes swarm on Rufus. He's a dead Rufus, and it's my own stupid fault. I played like ass. I got what I deserved. His White Lions reform, his guy in a chariot moves around, and really that's it. He doesn't have much left, more than I do, but yeah, we're all just kind of trying to get as many points as we can. It is round 5. It is time to stomp my face into the ground. There's a better picture of those Phoenixes slamming into Rufus, and yeah, that's not good. We go straight into combat, and the Phoenixes are able to put just 3 wounds through on Rufus. Luckily for me, I'm able to do exactly nothing to the Phoenixes because I suck. I lose this combat by about pi to the power of 50. Rufus breaks from the Phoenix that's closest to the table edge, breaks up about 3 inches, I think, 3 or 4 inches, and gets run down because Rufus is not a sprinter. Luckily, neither Phoenix runs into Skaz, but you know what? That actually was probably more lucky for my opponent than me, because at this moment, I remember that Skaz has the Dragonfire gem. Yeah, I should have had Skaz in the Phoenix's turn 2. And like a moron, once again, I did anything but the smart thing. I deserve to lose every game I played this day, and as you can see, it's looking like that's exactly what's going to happen. So, towards the end of our last turn, in turn 5, my opponent's turn, the judges screamed that we only had like 15 minutes left, so finish up the turn, and we wanted to get the full game in, so I forgot to take a picture. It was my turn, I wanted to move real quick and get it done so my opponent could go, and we could get the full game in, because I didn't want to stop at the bottom of 5 like that. I wanted to play this game to its conclusion. So, yeah, I forgot to take a picture at top of 6, because just in a hurry. I apologize, it's still a tournament. Although I'm playing like I'm a noob, I'm actually at a grand tournament. During the magic phase, Skaz gets Smite the Unbeliever off on his general. I'm desperately trying to hurt this guy and kill him because I need points really, really bad. I am able to lower his toughness by 1, which will help, but I cast this spell with overwhelming power. I end up miscasting 10, and long story short, Skaz takes a couple of wounds. He's not dead, he can continue to cast, but now he's half dead. I've got to be careful, or I've got to throw caution to the wind. Well, guess what I did? I used 4 dice to cast Cleansing Fire on Skaz, and it goes off with overwhelming power, and it's the maximum Cleansing Fire. I had a chance of killing his general. Unfortunately, it does go off. My opponent did try to stop it, and he failed. And I miscast 20. Skaz miscast 20. And the reason I did this is because if I could kill his general, it's a lot of extra points. There's a slight chance that his white lions would flee. But it's, killing the general, getting all those points, the general points, and I'm desperate. It's all or nothing. I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose, and close doesn't really matter. I want it to be more than, an 11-9 or something. But, yeah, I took a gamble, and Skaz's head set on fire. So, whoops. The result of the miscast, of course, sees Skaz die a horrible flaming death. It was all or nothing, and it turned out to be nothing. But we did, after the game, roll out to see what would have happened. And yes, I would have killed his general if all those dice rolls held true. So it was a worthy gamble. Unfortunately, never came to fruition for me. But I'm glad I could help my opponent. During the shooting phase, my BSB fires his Ogre Bolt Thrower, or crossbow anyway, into the Reavers over here and kills one. I don't know where these guys were hiding. I thought they were all off the table. I thought I had killed the Reavers. There was a unit on the right, there was a unit in the middle, and then there was a unit that the Tusker Cav took out. I could have sworn all the Reavers were dead, but who knows? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, he shoots at him and he kills one. Whoop-de-doo. And we go over here to bottom of 6 after movement, and there's just enough to make it hurt. The Phoenixes fly over the Scraplings and kill them. Nothing else happens. No one goes out. Nobody goes after anything. It's just, yeah, the Scraplings all die. And honestly, that was just a morale shot for us. It was like, aww. It's like someone shooting your dog after burning your house down. I'm just kidding. I would have done it too. It was hilarious. There's been a picture of the Scraplings all dead, killed by the flaming diarrhea that came from the Phoenixes. Damn the elves. And there it is. There's the end of the game. It's not as bad as I made it sound. I killed a lot of the elves. Not nearly enough. He's got 2 Phoenixes, the White Lions, both characters. And apparently a unit of Reavers still on the table, while I've got the Conquerors, my BSB, Lord Tremendous. That's it. So my opponent clearly won. We both knew it, but this was a hell of a game. It was a lot of fun, even though I did play like raw, bitter ass. My opponent played very, very well, really schooled me, took some chances that really paid off, and recovered from an early charge that should have gone much better for him. Didn't, but he didn't quit and was able to really capitalize on a lot of my blunders. Really took me to task, and Quite impressed. Quite impressed. And this was a phenomenal final game to not only wrap up the GT, but the Adepticon event as well. It was amazing. And what better game to go out on than an amazing game against a fellow reporter for the 9th Age. This was epic. This was the perfect ending to a perfect 4-day week. It was, oh, loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
As I said, this was a defeat for Lord Tremendous. I got 1,906 out of him. He got 3,332 out of me for a difference of 1,426. It was a 6-14 victory because for him. It was a 6-14 defeat, I guess I should say. Neither of us got the objective. I ended up losing Blackshade, Skaz, the Good Old Boys, the Randos, Bow Wowzer, the Trappers, the Tuskers, Rufus, the Hammers, and my Bombardiers. I got my teeth kicked in. But you know what? It was still a lot of fun. And I got to kill elves all day. Even though I didn't do it very well, I killed elves. And that is a positive note. So I'm a little bit prouder of my performance in this game because at least I wasn't under-aggressive. I was a little too over-aggressive, but at the same time I was just stupid. And my opponent was smart, and he played smart, and he won smart. It was that crazy early charge by the Elf Cav with his general in there really threw me off. I know it went my way for a little bit, I just couldn't capitalize on it. And I'm still a little flustered that chariots can join units. Deep inside that tells me that that's not right. But for the life of me, I can't find anywhere in the rules that say it's not allowed. So I'm probably just missing it, or it's totally allowed, and I'm stupid. God knows after these past couple of games, it's probably the latter. I think really one of my biggest problems was I could not get any momentum in either of these games, either game 4 or this one. I couldn't find my bearings, I couldn't get any traction, I couldn't get a game plan together, and my opponents could. So Vespian is a hell of an opponent, and he deserved this victory. He earned this victory, and I was proud to play him. I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for sacrificing Skaz for, 2 miscasts back-to-back, but like I said, it had to be done because it was either kill the general and get all those points or lose anyway. So I went for it. It was a gamble. Could have been epic, and it turned out it was, just for the elves. My opponent was really good with his army. There was really no mistakes that he made tactically. Dice, sure, but I mean, yeah, there was nothing I was capitalizing on. He didn't give me enough to recover from my terrible mistakes. Twin Phoenixes are rough. If I start seeing elf opponents, I'm going to have to start figuring out what I'm going to do against Phoenixes. Maybe send the guy with the Dragonbane gem in there. That might help. Should have sent Skaz in, and I'm kicking myself. Both games I did that. What it really comes down to, in my opinion, is I need more rest, and I need an elf opponent. I need somebody that I can play on the regular that plays elves, and I just don't have that in my local area yet. We do have more players coming in, which is awesome, and they're good guys, too. They really are. But no one's playing elves, probably because everybody knows elves are an inferior race and should be stricken from all the history books. Just saying. Down with the Night Fears. I know I've said it already, but this was a really fun game. I know I'm mad at myself. I know I come down hard on myself. But if I don't, who else will, right? And I really enjoyed this game. Like I said, I got to kill elves, and I was playing an amazing opponent. It doesn't get any better than that. And it was the perfect finish to an 11 games over 4 days, just marathon. I was exhausted. I think I slept for 14 hours that night. It was a real pleasure to meet my opponent, VESPACIAN, I think is how you say it. Probably not, but hey, that's what I'm going to do. Really enjoyed to play against the guy. He was a lot of fun, and if you get the opportunity to play against him, he's going to do an epic battle report about it. And yes, he's a filthy elf, but he's my filthy elf. So treat him with just a slight bit of respect. Pretend he's a beastman, you know? I would love a rematch against this guy, even if he does play elves. Thank you guys. Thank you very, very much. This tournament was amazing. I have every intention in the world of going to ADEPTICON 2018. So please, if you do go, let's get a game in because damn it, This was so much fun, it should have been illegal. Thank you to everybody that helped put this together. You are all amazing. So this is the time that I get to say thank you to everybody that supports me financially through Patreon, PayPal, and other means. I have many supporters. Some want to remain anonymous, and I'll respect that, but these are the individuals that allow me to thank them properly on my channel, and I'm going to take this minute to do so. So, Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, Daniel Jolson, and Caillou Choi, thank you all very, very much. I do appreciate it. As always, anybody that wants to donate to my channel through Patreon or PayPal or whatever, if you do, I've got many different rewards on through Patreon, but if anybody donates and you want me to say a little blurb or something like that on my battle reports in this section, or, you know, Linda, will you marry me? Steve, will you be my hetero life mate? Whatever you want me to say, as long as it's not too inappropriate, I'll gladly throw it up on here as long as your donations continue. You know, just a little bribe, whatever, just amongst friends, not gonna hurt anything. But to all my current donators, Patreons, patrons, however you want to call yourself, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I hope I continue to be worthy. But that's it, guys and gals. Battle Report number 75 is officially in the history books. All of my Adepticon games coverage and fun is now documented, videoed, uploaded for your viewing pleasure. Who knows, maybe one day I'll get around to actually making it into a playlist. And if you're watching that playlist right now, you're welcome. I actually did it. This was an amazing event. I'm sorry it took me so long to put everything up, but since I've been back at Adepticon, between work, family, weather, and everything else, I've just been pulled in 8 different directions. I'm currently finishing this battle report in a hotel room in Fort Walton Beach, so no rest for the wicked, even though I wish that I could get a rest. I will continue to crank out battle reports. I have a backlog of like 8 different games right now. Infernal Dwarves, Sauron Ancients, just a lot of new guys, a lot of new armies, a lot of great stuff, and new OgreCon lists. This summer, I've got a Ninja Samurai army coming out that I'm going to do a Warriors of the Dark Gods army with. A lot of changes, a lot of new content, a lot of cool stuff happening, and I'm still doing square tables. So if you enjoyed the Adepticon coverage, stay tuned because I got a lot of new stuff coming out quick, hopefully quick, and damn it, if I didn't enjoy doing this so much, I'd stop, but it's a ton of fun. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys and gals, thanks.